It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wide discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams.
Hello there, South Mississippi, and thank you for waking up with Wesley. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. Here's a look at the skyline this morning across Biloxi Gulfport. We had some fog earlier. Things have cleared out. Dense fog advisory is expected to expire by 9 o'clock this morning. So clearly not any fog there, even though we were seeing some near Picayune. And that is starting to clear out as well. So that's good news for Pearl River County. I know y'all had some fog earlier this morning, but it has really start to improve. So good news for your Tuesday. Like I said, there is a dense fog advisory that is going to go away at 9, but don't be surprised if another one doesn't get issued as we go to later today, because we're probably going to see another round of fog Tuesday night to Wednesday, maybe Wednesday night to Thursday, and perhaps even beyond that too. It's because it's so warm during the winter season that makes it easy for fog to form. And speaking of that warmth, we could go to near record highs today in some locations. Take a look at those temperatures going into the 70s this afternoon. So we are looking at highs for places like Wiggins, perhaps 78 degrees, Lucedale, perhaps 78 degrees, Poplarville, 79 degrees. So yeah, that's nothing like January, right? This is more like March, if not April. These are unusually warm temperatures, and they're so unusual that they're not just far from normal, they're actually close to the record. So that's when you know that it's warm, because there are few other days on this date that are as warm as that. I do want to show you the normals though. You see it says normal 61, and we've got this chart that kind of paints the picture for you for what's normal throughout the year, so you can get your bearings and put things in a perspective. You know, the summer heat, highs in the 90s, we're not expecting that. But highs in the 70s, March and April, right? That's what's normal for March and April. Normal for January is 61. That's what we should have today for a high. But we are forecasting 70s, so we are feeling much more like spring than like winter. And like I said, it is a possibility for some places to come close to record-setting territory. The current record holder for warmest January 6th is actually January 6th of 1978, when Gulfport Biloxi hit a record high of 78 degrees. Excuse me, 74 degrees. So that's the record holder, 74. Today we are forecasting 72, so it could come pretty close to that. In that area. Now, of course, like you saw on the rest of the map, there are other places that are not going to see 72. Like we showed you, you might have middle 70s, Waveland, Bay St. Louis, middle 70s, Pascagoula, Moss Point, could have upper 70s for places that are well to the north of Interstate 10. So, you know, might be a degree or two away from 80 in parts of Pearl River, Stone, and George counties. The temperatures we have today are likely going to persist on Wednesday, on Thursday, as well as Friday. And then we get a cold front to come into the area on Saturday. That's how we get to some cooler conditions. Notice the drop from 70 or around 70 on Saturday to the 50s for highs on Sunday, as well as Monday of next week. In order to get to that temperature drop, we have to go through a cold front, which will kick up some scattered showers into storms ahead of it. There's your Friday, Saturday map showing that approaching front from the west, and that's how we're going to see those better rain chances later this week. So looking at the futurecast, you can see Friday afternoon, we've got scattered showers and storms across parts of Mississippi. And then Friday night, also seeing scattered showers and storms across parts of Mississippi. I will say some of the heaviest rain and storms appear to be in the northern part of the state Friday night, but we could see some nearby our coast as well. We take a look at early Saturday, still seeing some of the heaviest storms in northern parts of our state and back into Louisiana. On our coast, maybe not having quite as much. And then we take a look at Saturday morning, and this is showing that we're finally seeing these showers and storms moving in. So maybe some of our highest rain chances could be on Saturday morning based on this, but the models have been kind of back and forth on the timing. If the front is faster, and a lot of this rain will be anchored closer to Friday night. If the front is slower, then some of the rain could linger into parts of Saturday. Also, some of the rain might fall following the front, because take a look at this Saturday night position. If we drew a front on the map, front position would likely be here or so, roughly speaking, but there's still some rain lingering behind the front too. So even after the front passes on Saturday, there might still be a few lingering rain chances. Finally, before we go, this is a look at that severe weather risk map. We showed you this yesterday. The Storm Prediction Center is still highlighting Mississippi for a risk of severe weather, so we want to give you that first alert about that. Right now, we're still thinking for the Mississippi coast that we will be outside of the target area. So even though those places near and north of Jackson, they have that level 2 out of 5 risk of damaging storms, on the coast, we would be looking at a level 1, maybe even lower than a level 1. So that means our probability of seeing things like tornadoes, things like damaging straight line wind gusts topping 60 miles an hour, things like hail the size of a quarter or larger, damage producing thunderstorms, the probability of us seeing that pretty slim to none. But it is going to be higher probability once you go to the north. So something that we're going to keep an eye on for later this week. There's a look at the rest of the 7-day forecast. So the main takeaways here, now through Thursday, persistent spring-like warmth with multiple rounds of fog. Much of the fog will be in the overnight and early morning hours, but if you're by the beaches, we might get into a situation where you have beach fog lingering in the Mississippi Sound or right by the beaches during the day. So that's what we got today, tomorrow, Thursday. Then we finally switch it up. Friday, Saturday, scattered showers and storms. Friday night, Saturday, scattered showers and storms. And then the cold front arrives, and that's how we get to cooler weather for Sunday, as well as into next Monday. You can see next Monday might have cold 30s in the morning and only some chilly 50s in the afternoon, but that will be much closer to normal for January. So even though we're taking a break from January for now, January eventually returns by Sunday into next Monday. Well, that'll pretty much do it for this edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. We'll catch you again next time.
Thank you for watching Waking Up with Wesley with WLOX First Alert Weather Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams.